What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you.
Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Tuesday night. We are rolling on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter/X, on Facebook, and on Twitch. It is episode 123 of the Throwdown, and today we are throwing down with a lady who is Atlanta-based. She is taking the world of pro wrestling ring announcing by storm. Ladies and gentlemen, the People's Princess, Salem Alexander.
Oh my gosh, stop. Oh my god, I can hear all the applause, all the cheering. Thank you so much, guys. I'm so happy to be here. How you doing tonight, Matt?
Man, if I were doing much better, there'd probably be 7 or 8 of me.
I honestly feel that. I'm on top of the world right now.
So I'll go ahead and say for anybody that's watching this live, if you have questions or comments, don't hesitate. Just throw them in the chat, and we'll either handle them as we go or do a little Q&A at the end. So we'll start with the first and the most obvious question, and that is, how long have you been doing ring announcing, and how did this come about?
That is such a loaded question because my journey into ring announcing has been, it's been all over the place. So I will say that the first time I ever got the mic in my hand was in like mid-September at none other than the WWA 4. Obviously, that is my home base. I'm there every gosh dang Thursday, week after week. I support them like they're my own family. Mr. Fox himself gave me the mic. He gave me the opportunity to announce for him right after the show. I took that mic. I ain't gonna lie. I've never done it before, but I was like, it's now or never. It's now or never. So he queued up a few entrances. We had Mr. Rockstar Donovan Thomas. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We had AWOL. Got him. You know what I mean? We had Errol Van Gogh. I just did it entrance after entrance after entrance. Right then, everybody was still there after the show. And everybody was like, who is that on the mic? Who is that? I was like, it's me, hi. And so Mr. Chainmail, you know, everybody loves him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves him. He came from across the room.
I'm trying to get Chainmail on the show. So put in a word for me with that guy.
I don't know if you really want that, to be honest. I don't know if you really, truly want that, but I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
But he came over from across the room. He was like, was that you on the mic? Was that you right there? And I was like, yeah, that's me. And he was like, you're really good. Like, I would like for you to do a match at my show, DWA. And I was like, thank you so much. And so I actually ended up having the entire performance of DWA Fight or Flight at the end of November to myself. I did the entire show, start to finish. Once again, never done anything like that before. No type of training. So scary. But I feel like I'm a natural at this. I got in there. I got it done. I did. And so I really didn't start like locking in, making a name for myself until February. February is when I was like, all right, y'all. I got 4 performances under my belt already. I really want to do this full time. I know I have what it takes to go to different places. So I sent a DM to a couple of different companies in the area, one of them being Platinum Championship Wrestling, PC Dub. Mm-hmm. And lovely Miss Alana hit me back, and we got the ball rolling in February. I was able to do the women's match for the inaugural Platinum Championship Wrestling Women's Championship. And you know what? That was such an amazing opportunity. March 14th was one of the best days of my life, truly. I had so much fun there. PCW is such an awesome place. Like, they are really like a family. They are so nice and welcoming immediately. I love them. I've had the time of my life there, truly. So I've been doing this for, honestly, locked in, 3.5 months.
Awesome.
3.5 months.
Well, as you can see on the screen, unapologetically L is singing your praises.
That my mama. That my mama. I see you, mama. Shout her out. She be doing her thing.
Nice. So, let me see here. I'm lost track of my thing here. There we go. Okay. So you really didn't have, did you have any background at all in anything similar, any kind of public speaking? Nothing really?
Honestly, not necessarily. Now, I will say in middle school, I did
Mm-hmm.
chorus for 2 years, but that was a big group, no solos, nothing like that. I was honestly lip syncing half the time anyway. Can't hold you. But I've always been like a people person. I've always had a very bubbly aspect. I wanted to do theater and such. I just never really got the chance to. Also, you really can't tell it nowadays. But my social anxiety used to be through the roof. I used to really never want to put attention on myself. So I would just be watching from the background, taking it all in, observing how I could maybe do it one day.
Gotcha. So, aside from the ring announcing, have you ever had or do you have any aspirations to wrestle?
I really do. I genuinely do. In the beginning of my becoming a fan, which wasn't that long ago, I knew almost immediately that I wanted to wrestle. I knew that I wanted to wrestle. It's just always been a matter of like finances. It's hard to get out there, actually start training. Nonsense. So I decided myself about 2 or 3 weeks ago that at the end of this month, I'm going to start training with PCW. I'm gonna go to PCW and I'm gonna train over there with my guys over there. I'm about to whoop some behind. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Nice. Well, you were saying that you sort of got your start with WWA 4, man, and I've got to say I've had I've had a bunch of the PCW guys on, and I've also had a bunch of the guys from the 4, man, and AR Fox has so much to be proud of. I mean, that is it's a good bunch of talent, but it's also a good bunch of people, you know, and
Absolutely.
all really all of the folks from the Atlanta scene that I've had on the show have all represented themselves and their schools so well, you know, and that's really just a testament to um, the people running the schools and
Mm-hmm.
and their students recognizing that they are a reflection of their instructor, and it's just
100%.
man, this Atlanta scene is something else. It really and truly is. And there's a flavor of wrestling here in Atlanta for anybody.
Anybody. I've always said like I'm truly so grateful that I got my start here because I moved away to South
Hmm.
Carolina for a few months and I was going to check out the indie scene there. I just never had a chance to. When I moved back here is when I really got the ball rolling, checking out action in WWE for RIP, and being able to be a fan and watch these guys do their thing, get to know them as a fan, even, they're such great people. And then as I join these locker rooms, I get to know them on a whole new level. And I'm like, wow, like no cameras, no bullshit. Y'all are awesome people. You're great. I love being around. I'm so grateful to have the amount of support and the amount of friends and family that I've made in these communities because they didn't have to take me in. They really didn't, but they have. And we've made so much history and so many memories since in such a short amount of time. Like, so I truly do agree with that. Like, especially at the WWA 4, even though, I don't train there, I praise them like they are my own. Everybody there, I love them so much. Like I said, that's my family. They're every single Thursday if I can be. I love them. I've always been admiring them from the sidelines. Actually, get a step into the business and see what they do, see what goes into their training, their hard work. And you do credit to the trainers. Fox, he's putting in the work. He's to crush them down, making some diamonds. Truly, these people are coming to the top. You see this new class we got in here: Alexander Quinn, KJ Valentine, Von LaFleur. You see that they are rising to the top very, very fast. And I am like starstruck just watching them from the side. I'm like, these are my friends. Like, oh my gosh, Alexander Quinn, the crash out cutie. You know what I mean? So they are making some great, great people at these promotions and these training schools.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So you mentioned that your fandom of wrestling is a comparatively new thing. How long have you been a fan? And how did that come about?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've recently been getting heat for the longevity of my career of being a wrestling fan. I genuinely did not start watching wrestling until January 2023. I've only been doing this for 2 years, but it feels like I've been watching my whole life. The amount of things that I've learned and watched and experienced, it feels like it's what it's always been meant for me. It feels like I've been here the whole time. I just haven't. I literally have not. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was not even as a kid. I literally truly don't care about anything. I will say one thing. One thing for certain. My mama was a fan. She was a fan because her daddy was a fan. They watched it. So growing up, I did see little smidges here and there when she'd be watching it. I didn't really care about nobody but Roman Reigns. I saw Roman Reigns. I saw him on the show. I said, "Who is that?" Noted. Noted. That's the only wrestler I knew for a good decade, truly. And then so one day I had fractured my foot in January, so I was hobbling around the house. I had one in my mom's room, saw that she was watching the Royal Rumble 2023 Men's Royal Rumble. I went in there. I was like, I was making certain jokes like, "Oh yeah, I know who this guy is. I knew this." No, I didn't know who that guy is. I'm like, "Oh yeah." I wait for his name to pop up. I'm like, "Yeah, Cody Rhodes." I obviously knew that was Cody Rhodes. I didn't know who these guys were at all. But I was like, digesting and really paying attention. And I was laughing, having a good time, actually anticipating what was coming next. And I'm like, "No, wait a minute, wait. Wrestling's cool. I like wrestling. I love wrestling." I left the room, went to my room. I immediately started watching every single Royal Rumble match from 2023 all the way down. I think I got to like 1995. I started checking out the other pay-per-views. I saw the Elimination Chamber. I saw Hell in a Cell. I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted. Why did I not actually know about it beforehand? Like, it was genuinely love at first sight, and I immediately became locked in.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been a fan since I was 11 years old, and I'll be 56 in September. And it's been interesting being a fan for this long and seeing a lot of the major things in wrestling history happen, and actually being there for it, like seeing the Monday Night Wars start to finish, the rise and fall of ECW, everything else. And I've got to say though, right now is actually one of the most exciting times to be a fan, because there is just so much content out there. There's so much out there that it's hard to find the hours in the week to watch it all. I mean,
no, seriously, like actually, I went from being like so hyper fixated on it, watching it every single second. I was watching every Raw, every SmackDown, every NXT, Dynamite, Collision when I could. I was checking out a little bit of Impact when I could. I was checking out everything I could. I had wrestling. My roommates were sick of me. The second I moved in, they literally had a sign on the door: "Welcome, Salem. No wrestling allowed." That's a suggestion. I don't know what y'all were talking about. I don't know nothing about that. Okay, so I was definitely still doing it, but every time they came in the house, wrestling was on the TV. I was on the couch watching my little SmackDown. Okay, I was cheering on my little Cody Rhodes, doing his little thing, chasing that goal. I sure was, and I wish I got into it sooner. I really did. Like, I was watching it, like, I can't believe I've missed out on so much awesome content. I can't believe I've missed out so much, but we are moving so fast in so many different promotions that there's always something to have going on. You're always going to have something to be entertained by. Another superstar you're watching rise to the top. Somebody you're cheering for, the underdogs. Watching a lot of people, fall down too with those.
Oh, I know. Releases. I know those. You got to feel for those folks getting released, but sometimes it ends up being the best thing that could have happened to them. Ask Drew McIntyre. He got released and he went and basically reinvented himself, honed his craft, and now look at him. He's back and he's at the top of his game. So you know, sometimes
100%.
there's a silver lining to that cloud. You may not see it right at the moment, but you just never know. Wrestling's a funny business.
And don't I know it? One door closes and many of them open. Truly, like I really, the way that my career was going, I was like not really doing much because I didn't have training per se. Like I've never been trained. I've just been teaching myself along the way, seeing
Right.
what sticks, what doesn't. So when I was, getting a match with my friends, I'd be like, hey, you guys, do you think I could work at your show this day? And I'd be like, I hope they put me on. And then as I've been working harder, I'm like, one door closed, another one opens. There's been promotions that I've had to turn down, unfortunately, shows that I've had to step away from. And I'm like, I'm okay making that decision because I know where I'm at. I know what I'm going to be capable of in the future. I know that just opens another show for me to attend, another person for me to network with. It all works out in the long run. You never know what you miss because it didn't happen. You can only focus on what's there.
Absolutely. So, away from wrestling, what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
I'm not gonna lie to you. There aren't many. Truly, I really eat, sleep, breathe wrestling like 24/7. Even in the aspect of not watching it necessarily, I'm always thinking about the next show that I can attend, the next show that I can work. I'm trying to help my friends get better at their promos, their character work. I'm trying to, become more in the community myself. So really, mostly wrestling, wrestling, wrestling. If I do take a break from wrestling, it's just to watch a little TV for real, just play a little games. I be playing Roblox and Minecraft. I be doing my little games on my computer. Not really much at all. I got into like crafting a little bit, but the crafting was also wrestling related because I started making bracelets. Actually, the way I really did get into the community, I feel like becoming a friend so easily is I started admiring these people, their work in the ring. I wanted to give back to them. I was, buying their merch and stuff, but I'm like, I want you to have something in return, of course. So I started making bracelets. I saw that people were making bracelets for like CM Punk and Rhea Ripley. So I'm like, why can't I make one for Alex Kane?
Exactly.
Why can't I make one for Shawn Legacy? You know what I mean? So I literally did. My second ever action show, I went and I had 5 bracelets on my hand. I had one for Buff and Fluff. Well, 2 for Buff and Fluff, Shawn and Cody. Had one for Alex Kane. I had one for Cruel. And actually, no, that one actually did make 4. I made 4 just to keep it nice and simple, because I was like, they probably won't even like me that much. Let me just, I was kind of scared. But they loved me. They did. They loved me, and they accepted it. They're like, I'm so grateful. And I was like, wait, and I was kept giving back to the people, trying to be nice, just I'd be bored sometimes. I make some bracelets. They be kind of cutie for real. I have some bracelets here that I've been trying to get my friends for a few weeks, but unfortunately, we keep getting booked on completely opposite sides of the state. I have one for Miss Faith, if you might know her, aka Apollo's Kitchen.
Yeah.
The girlie that be whipping up the best streets in the business. Oh! Apollo's Kitchen, she be getting down. I know I'm not here to promote other people, but that's my girlie. I love her. She be making the best treats. And I also got one here. This is for the Prince of Passion, Mr. Neji Ichiban. If he sees this anytime soon. Whenever you can get it, buddy, I would love for you to get it soon. I love making bracelets, and I've made like 35 bracelets now, just really like wrestlers that I genuinely admire and appreciate, and like I want to give back to. I can't do much. Truly, I can't do much from out the sidelines, but they do appreciate it, and it makes me so happy that they appreciate it. Like they really do cherish it, and the amount of time and effort that goes into making these bracelets, because I'm not that good at it for real. I'm really not. But the smile on their faces, it'd be worth it. I remember the very first time I saw Bobby Flacco, hey, the very first time I saw Bobby Flacco, he had it out there in Hawaii, GCW, and I was like, my bracelet is literally on GCW. What do you mean? That's crazy. Like, I've had such a great time, like, actually becoming a friend of these people. So I feel like in terms of working, it really wasn't that hard. They looked out for me the way I was looking out for them, and I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we were talking before we went on the air, man. Love Neji to death. That guy is just a great dude.
That's my brother. I love you, Neji Ichiban. Literally, what a great guy. My very first impression of him was being nailed in the head with a steel chair by Grayson
Yeah.
Pierce. And I was like, somehow he's still alive, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
somehow he's still kicking. And he's doing a goddamn good job getting around. And I hope he takes that title off him at DWA. He has to take that title off of Grayson Pierce at DWA. There's no other choice. There's no other choice. And new 100%.
We shall see. Let's hope so.
There's got you got this, buddy. You got this.
So, we're mostly a wrestling related show, but we do dabble a little bit into pop culture. So, by any chance, I'm always looking for recommendations. Are you watching or listening to anything cool right now?
I don't know what your definition of cool is. I would not necessarily call myself like a very cool person. I just be doing things, you know what I mean? There's this lady, her name is Sophie Hunter. She's a rap artist. She's very cool. I low-key kind of want to make one of her songs my interest music. I'm trying to get interest music really bad. And she's up and coming. She's very hot right now. So Sophie Hunter, if you ever want to check her out, she's got this song called Cha Cha. That's my jam right there. I love her. I'm not necessarily like much on like social media anymore. Like looking at like I said, like it's really truly just what I have in my circle right now. I really just eat, sleep, breathe wrestling. I guess I got to get better at that. I really do. But that's somebody I can tell you. Sophie Hunter, that's my girl. I truly love her.
So, what does your family think about all of this? What do they think about the fact that you are pursuing, ring announcing and down the road actually getting in the ring and mixing it up yourself?
Oh, they love it truly. Since, my mom is a wrestling fan, it wasn't hard for her to grasp that concept once she saw that I actually was enjoying it. Truly, I was enjoying it. And, it has been talks to me with wrestling for a while now. It's just like, damn, money on them Benjamins, it's kind of hard to find to put away for real, for real. But like back in June 2023, I had the opportunity to tour the Nightmare Factory with QT Marshall. That was my first wrestling experience for real. And so that was awesome. My whole family was there. We got to see the ins and outs of the business, talk to him a little bit. He was asking, he was like, how do you feel about your daughter becoming a wrestler? She was like, no, I'm for it. 100%. This is what she wants to do. This is the one thing she actually has been passionate about in life. Like, truly, like, I've had interests before, but like, nothing in my life has made sense as much as wrestling does. Genuinely. Like, it was no brainer. The second I actually sat down and like paid attention to what I was watching, and the more I learned and actually watch and be in the community, road trip after road trip, sharing these stories with the guys, I'm like, no, like this is where I belong. Everybody, they love it. They be coming to the shows, supporting me, driving me to my shows when I need to drive to my shows. I'll be driving for real. I can't. The people's princess. I'm more of a passenger princess, to be honest. I cannot drive, y'all. I really cannot. So my mama, she come in clutch, drive me to my shows. We all be having a good time. Good time. The past few weeks, I've been going to shows myself, branching out, doing my own little thing, But they're very supportive of where I'm trying to go and what I'm trying to do in my life. They're very much all for it, which is so grateful because it's a lot harder when you don't have the familial support there. It's a lot harder, especially living with them. That'd be crazy if they didn't support me in the wrestling.
So, are you originally from Atlanta? Or are you from somewhere else?
I was born in Jacksonville, Florida, but I really didn't spend much time there. So born and raised in Georgia areas, not necessarily mostly Atlanta, Barnesville up in the country for real. Down here in McDonough, where it ain't really, I'm kind of far away from the place that I need to be, truly, but I be claiming Atlanta. It's easier that way. So I really have been in Atlanta for all my life, truly. Moved away to South Carolina for a little bit, but came back and I'm loving it.
What is your favorite thing about Atlanta?
I love how much there is here. Like, there truly is so much to do for everybody. You can always find something, whether it's just, going out. One of my favorite things used to literally just be like taking the MARTA, going out to Midtown, touring Midtown, going out to Piedmont Park, chilling out there, getting called, street life, city life. I love there's always busy bees out. We got the best aquarium, we got the zoo, we got so many attractions, tourist attractions. The people here are so awesome and progressive, you know what I mean? It's really it's something for everybody here all the time.
Gotcha. So, they say that the best in-ring personas are essentially usually yourself turned up to 11. So tell us kind of about in-ring Salem. Tell us about the People's Princess and kind of compare and contrast her with everyday you. Or is it a what you see is what you get?
I'm not gonna lie. That's more so. It's very much what you see, what you get. Because one thing about me, I feel like, especially because I did come into this as a fan first, I didn't really necessarily have much time to create a character per se. I've just been like, hey guys, next match scheduled for fall. You know what I mean? Like I've just been at the very beginning, I had like such bad anxiety and nerves. I would really just get in and out. But as I'm becoming more of myself, the more I'm going to different promotions, actually networking, becoming more comfortable in locker rooms and stuff, I'm really just becoming myself again. I'm just like outside the ring, this is how I am. I'm bubbly, talking to everybody, having so many great laughs. Then, the clock says 7:30. I'm like, oh my God, guys, no, like, hype me up, please. I don't even know if I can go out there. They're like, what are you talking about? So nowadays, the past like 2 weeks, I really just cut all that out. I'm People's Princess, point blank period. So this is me times 5, something like times 5. I get out there, I get the crowd pumped, I get them going. I like to talk to them, but are you ready? You ain't ready? You ain't ready for it? Okay, you ready for it? Like I just go with the flow. Genuinely, the other day I was at CCDL. The first match was definitely disqualification. I was like, I don't know. They both got beat up though. I don't know which way it's gonna go. Was it Xavier? Was it Xavier? Was it Alamia? Who was it? It was me. I'm the winner of this match. You know what I mean? I just on my feet, just whatever comes to me, comes to me. The People's Princess is just, this was always me, truly, in the locker rooms before I started announcing and stuff. I was always out there talking to any and everybody, having so much fun. And now that I'm working, it's so much easier. I get to network and talk to so many more people that I never even thought I would. You know what I mean? The People's Princess, I went from just sitting on the couch, to in the ring with Mr. Sidney Hakeem himself. That man kissed my hand. He was like, thank you so much, Lady Princess. I said, thank you. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's not even a gimmick anymore. It's really real life. This is just me, truly.
Awesome. So, you haven't been doing this for that long, but tell us about your favorite match that you have participated in, as an announcer. Tell us about your favorite experience so far.
Oh my goodness. See, that's so hard because I love literally everything I do because I'm so grateful to even be in this position. You know what I mean? Every single time that I get to announce any of my favorite people, I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I think the most important thing that I've ever done was being at Platinum Championship Wrestling, March 14th for the Queen's Gambit match, being a part of such a historic moment, their first ever championship match to build up the women's division. That was so important. The first lady announcer of PCW, you know what I mean? That was so awesome to share the locker room with so many amazing women. Crystal Rose, Rose Gold, Hyena Hera, you know what I mean? So many awesome women there. Such a great match to be a part of. And they went out there, they killed it. I think I did my job pretty well. They keep having me back. You know what I mean? That was truly one of the best. That was one of the best moments for sure. Another one I really liked recently was I was at NLCW and I got to do the main event match it was Hakeem Young against Cruel. And nothing about Hakeem. That's not important. What is important right now is Cruel, the atrocity Cruel. That was amazing. He is one of the first people I remember from action. As you know, like I said, fan first. I'm always going to love my fans. I made him a bracelet. I was like, you got your bracelet, guy? Hey, you know how to take it. I found out he still had it. And I'm like very grateful. And so the fact that I actually got to work with him, that was amazing. I'm not going to lie. He kicked me in my back. It was my fault. It was 100% my fault. But I was like, Cruel kicked me in the back. Like, Cruel kicked me in the back. You know, I'm such a mark. I was like, That was an awesome moment. Shout out to NLCW. Shout out to Rico Gonzalez for putting me out there. Shout out to Amy Haven for having me back all the time. I love NLCW out there in Augusta.
Absolutely. So, in terms of your ring announcing style and all of that, who would you say might be some of your influences? Have any other ring announcers sort of inspired you or helped shape you into the ring announcer that you are becoming?
See, I would say yes and no in the sense that I am like I admire so many great ring announcers. Back when I was just watching WWE, I always knew like, okay, this is fun. This is something I want to do. I used to imitate freaking Ludwig Kaiser when he did the Ring General's entrance. Like I was doing that. I always knew that was something I liked. So I always was drawn towards people like Samantha Irvin, obviously, of course, Samantha Irvin. That's one of the goats. I love her.
She's great.
Also, Alicia Taylor. I feel like she's amazing. I feel like if I draw any inspiration from anybody, it would probably be Alicia Taylor for sure. I feel like we have the same like bass in our voice, you know. I also loved Justin Roberts. I still love Justin Roberts. Mike Rome, Lillian Garcia, that my girl, you know, all those people, those are some people that I've always very much admired. And even in terms of like now, because I don't necessarily watch WWE and AEW as much as I would like to. Now I am focused on, you know, like what I see in person. So the ring announcers that I draw inspiration from now, the people that I really do admire now are like Diana Michelle. You know, she's over at Coastal Southern Honor. She is such a great lady. She's so awesome. I see her and I'm like, no, that's who I need to be in a few, like for sure. Like she's doing her thing. I also love Scott Hensley. You know, Scott Hensley over at Action. That's a one thing about Action, I will say, like, they genuinely, ever since I discovered them, I was like, this is what wrestling needs to be. This is, and I immediately was like drawn there, and I stopped really watching television wrestling because I'm like, this is indie, this is where it's at. And it's all thanks to Action. Matt Griffin, I don't know how he does it. But he does it. Every single show is better than the last, and he's such a great guy. Puts on so many bangers after bangers. Scott, that's my goat. Carmen Michael, you know, that's a great guy too. I really like all those guys. However, I feel like my style is so unique because I've tried to listen to other announcers and figure out how to, you know, do my own fluctuations, how to start it off. And I'm like, I can't necessarily grasp it from another person's perspective. I only know how to be me. Everything that I do, I feel like it's not really inspired by them. It's inspired by me. It's how I sound, how I feel in that moment. You know what I mean? I really don't even be like, practicing certain people's introductions. Is how I feel about them at that second in that moment, and then it comes out money every time.
So, do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? A match that just that you know you can have watched it a million times and you still find yourself gravitating back toward a particular match. Do you have one?
Yes, I honestly, if I'm being so real with you, like most times, if I watch a match, I honestly probably will not watch it again unless it was like a really, really hard hitter. Like I'll remember it. I'll remember the points that I need to remember, and I'll be like, okay, great match. But one match that I always truly, truly loved was Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, Clash of the Castle. That match right there fed me for many moons, many moons. There was times where I'd literally be asleep at my like roommate's house, like with that match playing. It was my white noise. That match, I love Drew McIntyre. I love Roman Reigns. You know, they were hitting it down. It was hitting it down in Wales. It was hitting it down. And you know what? Thank you for even bringing that up because now after this, I want to go back and watch that. That match was so good. I love that match. I'm so grateful that I got into wrestling at such a great, like impactful time because there were so many hard hitting shows then, even like 2023 shows. Like, oh my gosh, my first WrestleMania, I didn't know what I was watching for real. I'd only been a fan for 3 months. I didn't really know any true story behind it, but the emotions were there. Everything was there. When Cody Rhodes was pinned for that 1, 2, 3, I went back to my room and I started crying. I was like, no, like this isn't even real. I didn't know what I was crying for, but I know that they made me cry. Truly, I know that he worked hard for it. Truly, I really loved it. So I have a lot of great matches, but one of my favorites will always be Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. That one right there, they need to run that back for real, for real. Truly,
Gotcha.
they need to run that back soon.
Well, I'm going to give you a homework assignment. You need to look this match up on YouTube. There is a match from back in 1989. It is an I Quit match between Ric Flair and Terry Funk from a WCW Clash of the Champions. I saw it live when it was on TV. Man, that match is a master class in storytelling. You need to seek that match out and watch it, and you will thank me later. That is on my Mount Rushmore, probably top 3 matches that I've ever seen. So that's your homework assignment. Flair versus Funk, I Quit, 1989.
Matter of fact, I'm about to go make sure I don't forget this now.
Yeah, you will. I think you'll really dig it. You know, like I said, it was a long time ago. I'm an old guy.
No, one thing like I will say though is like I did get into it super, super late, and like I do want to go back and watch the old wrestling. I just never truly do. I never do. So this is great for me. I love having homework. I know information. I know matches. I know people. You know, I just don't know specifics. I know what I feel like I need to know, and at this moment in time, I'm always willing to learn more for sure. Like one thing I've been talking to my friends about recently, I really want to get more into deathmatch wrestling. My friends have been going to a lot of deathmatch, Blood and Honey. My friends just went to SVN a couple days ago. Got Masada out there, got Journey 2 out there. I'm like, yo, I need to be a part of this lifestyle for real. It's scary, but it's fun. It's violent and it's emotional. It's crazy. Like Mr. Danger, like that guy, he be going crazy at GCW. That man be killing himself every goddamn week. And then he come back to the fore and I'd be like, how are you here? How are we looking at each other in the eyes right now? What are you doing? Like you are so like I love that side, so I'm always going to learn more. Absolutely, I will watch.
Yeah, I had not too long ago. I had Nathan Mowery on here, who is the guy behind Blood and Honey, and man, he is an interesting guy. I've really had a great conversation with him. I mean, he is he's a different cat. I'll say that much, but I mean that in the best possible way. I mean,
right. I've heard really great things
he
about
is
him.
great, absolutely great. So, and this is kind of an interesting question with you being a talker. Do you have an all-time favorite promo as a fan? Is there a promo that you remember that you just absolutely love?
Yes, oh my gosh. The one promo that truly does speak out to me, and I don't remember when it was. I truly don't remember when it was, but it was the promo of Jey Uso against Sami Zayn way back in like 2023. I think it was like maybe March 2023, back when, is that right? I'm not really sure. Maybe 2024. I'm not sure. However, it was the one where he was like, I got a job to do today, but you about to hear this. All my life, I didn't trust you. I didn't like you. They know that. I didn't like you at all. Week after week, Sammy, they start liking you. Jimmy liked you. Solo liked you. The Wise Man, that's one of my favorite promos. He was so emotional. I really felt like he meant every single word of that. I wrote that down in my notes and I memorized that in like 2 days. And I would just be saying it and saying it to nobody. To literally nobody. But that one, I literally felt every single emotion. It was so powerful. And I was like, dude, like that's real. Like you protect your family. You're about your family. You were betrayed. I feel like I was in his shoes. Like Jey Uso, like that guy, he really can talk on the mic. He has such a way with his words, and you really stand behind everything that he says. Every feud that he's in, I'm like, dude, you're right. Like you're right. Like everything that he says, I'm like, when he touches the mic, I'm like, truer words have never been spoken. Truer words have never been spoken, especially in that feud against Sami Zayn. Especially true. I was like, man, I miss those days. Like I really used to go ham, especially like I said, the Ludwig Kaiser entrance. I remember having a voice note in my phone of like me announcing a fake women's tag team championship match. Like I was really channeling my inner Samantha Like that's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, that was my favorite
Gotcha.
promo for sure.
Well, I've got another piece of homework for you. Another promo for you to check out. I don't remember what year it was, but it was when he was in ECW. You know who Mick Foley is? Yeah.
Of course.
Well, Mick Foley did a promo in ECW that is probably one of the most emotional promos I have ever seen in my life. When he was at an ECW show, you know, at the time his son was very young, his son named Dewey, and somebody in the audience held up a sign that said Kane Dewey, and it really bothered him, and he cut a promo about that sign, and just the pain of the thought of somebody, you know, caning his son was just all over his inflection and his expression. I mean, it is a powerful promo. So your other piece of homework is check out Mick Foley's Kane Dewey promo.
And I write this down right now because you know I love my homework.
You got to have it.
And I really wanna start watching a lot more like really good promos. Like obviously, it's important for me to be good on the mic if I'm gonna be interacting with these crowds and making sure they're engaged in the show. And also because I'm gonna start being a wrestler soon, I gotta make sure like I feel like I'm a great talker naturally. I think I'm a very easy people person. I'm very animated. I can get very energetic. I'm not gonna lie, I be a D1 crash out sometimes. When I crash out, I crash out. So I feel like when it comes to promos, it won't be necessarily super hard for me to get into it. But I definitely want to have all the like knowledge I can get before I start.
Absolutely. Sure. Well, you know, not any in particular, but another good promo guy to check out is Raven. From when he was in, especially when he was in ECW. Just check out Raven's promos because again, really very psychological type promos, you know. And he would rarely raise his voice, but he could just project quiet menace. And there's a skill to that. So check his stuff out too.
For sure. I definitely I want to be a really good talker. I mean, that's literally my job right now, you guys. I literally have no choice but to talk. And I feel like I've definitely gotten better at that because recently I had an experience like completely outside of wrestling. I had a 3-day tattoo convention expo in like Perry, Georgia, where I was announcing different awards and different like categories. I was doing like a belly dancing performance. I did a fire breathing performance. I was shouting out vendors from all over the state, you know, so you really have to be able to talk and know what you're saying in situations like that, where it's not a set script coming to the ring from such and such, you know what I mean? Like you really have to be about your stuff. And, you know, especially promos, you know, yeah, you can write it down, memorize it, but somebody can also go off the fly. Then you're looking crazy. You got to know how to talk yourself for sure to back yourself up. And the people will understand if you mean what you say or not. If you're talking your stuff, as a fan, I know exactly. When I hear people talk sometimes, I'm like, okay, I hear you. I do hear you. But do you know what you're saying? You know what I mean? Like, and I want people to know that I know what I'm saying and that I believe in me.
Gotcha. So in your opinion, at this moment, who are the best male and female wrestlers in the world?
That's a good question. I mean, the world is, you know, the world is big, you know. Considering I really don't know many wrestlers out there, I might get some slack for it. I feel like personally, my top picks of who I be seeing going out and doing their things, I really, really, really like Stephanie Vaquer. I think she's doing a great job. She's doing so much in NXT. She's doing so much on the main roster Raw. You know, she's having a great time. I love her. I love Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, I don't care who I have to talk to. I am one of Chelsea Green's biggest fans. She is a top girl. And when she won the United States Championship, I fell to my knees. And I looked up and I said, thank you. Thank you. That's all I needed for the year. That's literally all I needed for the year. She's doing amazing. Now, I will also say in terms of men, my guys, my goats that I like. I'm not going to be talking about the WWE, AEW talent. I'm talking about the people that I see. And the people that I see right now that I think are absolutely killing it. Landon Hale, the good doctor. That man, he's going on. Sean Legacy. Let's look at that, man. Okay. We were just talking about Sean Legacy. You know, I went from seeing him in action. Now that man is literally fighting Javon Evans and Ashanti tonight.
I know.
Literally tonight. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. So I feel like in terms of best, it's about how much work you've put in to get to where you are. And those people really do put in their work. They really do put in their work. Not gonna hold you. Crazy to say best in the world. Sorry, guys. But Grayson Pierce, the young gun Grayson Pierce, that is literally my number one pick wrestler all time. I don't care. I've been saying this since the very first moment I saw them. The fact that he's only been doing this for 2 years, it makes no sense to me. It literally makes no sense to me how he's at where he's at. That is a 10-year bet right there. That man, Grayson Pierce, is on fire. And he's not signed nowhere. He's still, right here at the 4. He's still building himself up at EPW, Southern Honor. He's doing his big one. And I think that, truly, that's my number one. He's going to be places soon. That man's going to be all over the globe.
No doubt. Yeah, he's another one I've had on the show, and man, great guest. Really enjoyed having him.
That guy right there, I really do hate to give him his tens. You can't praise the young gun too hard. You can't, because it goes to his head. But he deserves it. He does deserve it. Everything that he's done, he's worked hard for it, and he deserves that more. Truly, like, I cannot wait to see that man take off.
So there's an old saying: never meet your heroes because they're bound to let you down in some way. Have you had the chance or the opportunity to meet any of yours, and how was the experience?
Yeah, I have. I've met quite a lot of people. I've met a lot of people that I never, ever thought I would meet. Just even being a fan, let alone a worker. Like, I said the other day, I spent the day, sharing the locker room with Sidney Hakeem. I remember watching that man on WWE. I remember him working with Carmella. I remember seeing him on Out the Mud, NXT. And now he's right here in my face. We're over here shaking our dreads together. That was a crazy experience. I got to talk to Teddy Long, of all people, Mr. Teddy Long, at RIP at Unshackled. And I'm like, how did I even get here at this point in my life to even have a conversation with that man? And this is last year. I would be like looking at him and like, from across the room, like scared. But I can go to the grave knowing that I made Teddy Long laugh. I've met so many awesome people. I've met Savannah Evans. I've met Lei Ying Lee. Alex Kane is such a great guy. We all know MLW, Suplex Assassin Alex Kane. That guy right there, he's such a stand-up guy. I've been such a fan of him for so long, and that is somebody that I can truly call my brother. He has been here every step of the way, like in terms of announcing. He's been here, since I was a fan, and then he's been here as I've been trying to make myself up. I've had a lot of great experiences. I have had some not great experiences. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just don't know necessarily if I could talk about them because it makes me feel bad that it's happened, but it wasn't my fault. You know what I mean? Like, everything happens for a reason either way. You know what I mean? So one thing about me, though, I be about my business. So whenever people do cross me the wrong way, I let them know straight up where they got me messed up. I have encountered quite a few enemies in the past couple of months, and it's kind of crazy because it's like, it shouldn't have to be that way. We are, like, this is just a big old family wrestling is. It really is. Like, I have a 97% success rate with the amount of talent, people that I've met backstage and stuff. Truly, I do. So I can't really complain that hard about the bad apples I have found along the way. The ones that I have met, like I said, getting to know Sean Legacy over the months, getting to see freaking Dante Casanova the other day, that was crazy. I've admired him for a long time, his work in NWA. I love the people that I have known from action, like Ella Envy, BK Westbrook. That's the it couple right there. The it couple. Okay, I love them. I love every single person that I've met, truly. Cruel, Manders, all of them. Teriyaki, all my goats.
Absolutely. So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling, specifically indie wrestling?
I think social media is the most important part of it, genuinely, because everybody is on their phones all the time. Everybody's on their phone all the time. And if you don't promote yourself on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, your audience is decreased by a mile. There's been so many times that I've been trying to like look at a promotion, see if they have a show coming up, and they're like, no flyers out, but I know it's coming up soon. You know what I mean? It's like if you're not promoting your show to like 4 days beforehand, how are people going to get out there? You know what I mean? I feel like, especially me, I used to be really, really anxious. I'm like, guys, I don't even want to promote myself. I'm so scared to promote myself. But if you don't do it, who does? If you're not going to put yourself out there, who will? You have to let the people know, hey, I'm going to be at this show, this time, this day, where is it? Here. Hey, once again, I'm going to be at this show. You can post every single day for 2 weeks. The people are going to see it. That's how they're going to see it. You have to promote yourself. You have to put yourself out there on social media because you never know who's watching. Even if they don't like it, you know who's peeping it. You know what I mean? Your engagement is important. And I have been really trying to get myself out there, make sure everybody knows where my shows are. Even though I'm just the ring announcer, sometimes which I'm not saying just as if it's not important. Very important job. But sometimes I feel like me, myself, I'm like, I'm not a wrestler. I don't know why I'm promoting myself as if people want to come see me. But people do want to come see me. There's been so many times where I had people be like, hey, like, are you going to be working this show? Because who's the ring announcer at this show? Are you going to be at this show? So I had to make a link tree with all the days of the shows I'm going to be at to make sure that people know where the People's Princess is located. You're going to see me one way or another. The social media is absolutely important.
Absolutely. So I'm looking over at the Instagram tab. Clout Cobain asks this question for you. What is your favorite chainmail match?
Oh no, you're funny. You're funny. Oh my gosh. My favorite. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's not a bad question. I love chainmail. We all love chainmail. That's just so unexpected. I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like my favorite chainmail match is the one where he got his ass handed to him by Cruel and he lost that multiversal championship. And that's my favorite match of chainmail. That's my favorite. Thank you, buddy. Shout out to you.
And Tattoos by Typewriters says that you were killing it and that you were thrown into the fire and came out of Phoenix.
Yeah, shout out to Tattoos by Typewriter. That is my guy. I met him over at that tattoo convention over in Perry, and he's got some great work. If you're ever out at a tattoo shop, is literally what's called a tattoo shop out in Griffin, Georgia, go hit him up. Thank you, man. Like he really pushed me out there too. He's been helping me get more into myself, feel better about myself, being more confident. I love people I met there at the tattoo convention, so I really do appreciate that. I can't lie, I'm killing the game. It ain't bragging if it's true.
Absolutely. So you're comparatively quite young, but knowing what everything you know at this point in your life, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Just do it, bro. Literally just like nothing matters. Literally nothing matters. Just do it. And like it's so crazy to hear myself say that because the amount of times that I've been told that I'm like, what are you talking? Oh yeah, nothing. But it's so true. Like just put yourself out there. Just do it. Like especially because I am doing a great job. Like I really wish I could have put myself out there sooner. Truly, because I always have the tools. I was just in my own head about it. Like just do it. And if you ain't great immediately, you're gonna get better. You have to put yourself out there and keep on working because you want it. You're hungry for it. So just do it.
Absolutely wise words there. So do you have any pre-show traditions? Any things that you try to do consistently before you walk through that curtain to do your thing?
That's so funny. I really don't because most times I just be like, I guess, okay. if we're gonna be real, if we could consider a pre-show tradition, one thing I love to do is I love to talk to my dogs. I love to make sure I talk to every single person there. Try to make sure I talk to every single person in the locker room, whether they're working or not, whether I'm gonna be announcing their match or not. I have to make sure I get all my nerves out, make sure everybody's having a good time, make sure we already have a good show. You know, I make sure I got all my cards down. I write my cards. I gotta put myself up. I'd be in the corner like, you've done this. You've done so much more. You know, so much more. You know, I'd be like, my anxiety be going, so I'd be making sure I'm all cool. But most times I just go with the flow because I know what my business is about. I don't have I'm not really superstitious, so I don't even know like good luck ritual. I'm about my business. We go out there, we have a good show every time. That
works. That works. So we're getting toward the end of things now. So do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to? And I bet you're good at giving hype to stuff.
I have a few shows coming up. First and foremost, on May 23rd, I'm back at the Platinum Palace, PC Dub. I love PCW so much. I have not been back there in quite a few weeks because I've been booked and busy. I've literally just had a 10 days where I've been booked and busy. So I'm so excited to be back at PCW. About to see all my favorite people. About to see the Syndicate probably. You know, they've been causing a lot of havoc recently, especially on CCDL or Código de Combate de Lucha, the new name. You know, I'm excited for that show. I love PCW. On June 7th, I'm making my debut at Passionate Wrestling. Passionate Wrestling out there in Swainsboro. Everything's a little bit better with hot sauce. You know what I mean? That's the name of the show. I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited to have yet another promotion under my belt. You know, I have so many that I can call my family, have so many shows like for the rest of the year because that's just my full-time promotion. I'm so excited for that. I also have on June 15th, the show that I might be the most excited for, admittedly. We have Change 3 coming up. Change 3 is got the best talent, the best black talent that professional wrestling has to offer. We're going to have Nausism. We're going to have Chad Skywalker. We're going to have Cold Brew Cappuccino Jones. I get to announce for WWE. I do prospect Cold Brew Cappuccino Jones. That's crazy. Me announcing for WWE talent, NWA talent, TNA talent, that's something that I can really say that I've been doing in only 3 months. No training. This is crazy. I have so much that will be coming up. However, most of my stuff is for the fall season. We better get real spooky. Halloween season, y'all better stay tuned because I have so much in the works. But right now, those are the 3 shows that I'm most excited for. And y'all know I'm going to pick up something else in the meantime. Let's be real. How can I not? Like, I'd be on my stuff.
Well, as far as what we've got coming up here on the Throwdown, this Thursday, 2 days from now, 8 p.m. Eastern, I have a rescheduled episode 108 with Atlanta-based pro wrestler Too Hot Dion Summers.
Oh, you know I love Dion Summers. That's my dog. Who hotter than Summer? Tell me, boy, to him, who hotter than Summer? Ain't nobody. I love Dion. Shout out to Dion Summers. I spent towards that is such a stand-up guy, such a great athlete.
I am looking forward to having him on. I think, he's another one that's going places. Going
so many places. You know, he just won his first championship about a month ago, and I'm like, first of many. Well-deserved. He is such a great guy. That man, one thing about him, he is going to have the crowd on notice. They love Dion Summers everywhere I go. They can't get enough of him. And I know I can't get enough of him. It's been an honor being able to share a locker room with him over at PCW, even though the last time I tried to announce him, narcissism mushed my face. You know, I didn't even get a chance to, but I'm going to get my look back. Don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that. The Hoochie Daddy will be mine. He will be mine. Just watch.
And I don't doubt that for a minute. So anyway, so that's Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then next Tuesday, the 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 124 with another Atlanta-based wrestler, the Sinister Stuntman Spectre.
Oh my gosh, this just keeps getting better and better. I love Spectre. Shout out to Spectre. That man, WWA 4. We throw that for all day long. And that is a man that's a real deal guy. His work over at Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I've seen some of that, and it's like, wow.
You know, Ravina Vane, dude. Oh my goodness. Like, I gotta go out for the next Bun Honey for sure.
So anyway, so those are the next two I've got scheduled. Well, the next two that I've made public. I'm actually booked up pretty much until about the first week of July. So keep an eye on my social medias, because there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pike, and I've definitely got several that I'm really excited about. So, good things are happening in the world of the Throwdown.
I love
and,
that.
And I've got I'm going to throw this up on the screen. I've got a QR code here that'll take you to my link tree that's got, all of my various socials. So, definitely hop over onto that, and give me a follow on all that stuff. And we've also got a merch store where, just your typical t-shirts, hats, coffee mugs, etc. And, if you like what we've got going here and you want to help offset any production costs, you can just buy us a coffee, use that QR code. And, any little bit helps. You're definitely having fun doing these. So, do the old like, comment, share, and subscribe. And before we wrap this up, do you have any final words, man? This has been such a cool conversation. I have had such a good time, and thank you for your time.
Man, thank you so much. Like I said, I'm so grateful that you, of all people, were my very first podcast host. Like, I've been watching your work for so long. This is such an honor. I want to be on a podcast for so long, just in general, like not even wrestling related. And so the fact that it's being able to talk about like how I've gotten up in the world, how I've been able to make a name for myself. I'm having so much fun doing what I'm doing, and I hope to keep doing this for so many more years to come. So thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you to all my fans and all my friends, my loyal Salamanders. We on top. I love y'all. Shout out to Cloud Cobain for that silly chainmail question. Please don't ever ask me a chainmail question ever again. Everybody loves him. But I love me just a little bit more. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And, I'm excited to watch your career. I am proud of you for how far you've come in such a short period of time. And, I feel like the sky's the limit. You have an energy about you that is truly infectious.
Thank you so much. Like, I genuinely, I'm so grateful and so humble. Like, I know I'd be talking about shit for real, but I'm really so grateful and so humble for like all that I've been able to accomplish in like such a short amount of time. Once again, it's only been 3 months since I really did lock in and put myself out there. And the amount of like stories and the amount of things that I've done since is like unbelievable. And I know that because I believe in myself and I have so much more left to learn and even do, that the trajectory of my career is going to go crazy. I'm going to be in a lot of really good company soon. I know I am.
Oh, you know what? I just took a glance over at the Instagram tab again, and there's a late-breaking question from the Bolt Lightning. Who is the first person you want to have a match with at PCW?
The very first person at PCW, I'm going to go straight to the top, to the hoochie. No. I honestly feel like in my heart of hearts, it's going to be somebody that I really, really do respect and love in and out of the ring. Hopefully it'll be my girl, Alexander Quinn. We've come up together. I literally was there during her debut. I announced her over at the 4 in January in her like second or third match. I've been watching her kill it and go so far in her career in such a short amount of time. That girl has gone crazy. She's been fighting Jazzy Yang, Dee, Grayson Pierce, Hakeem Young. She's doing so much, and I hope to add Salem Alexander to that list very soon. Truly, I do. I would love to get married with her.
Well, that sounds like something that will definitely happen.
Fingers crossed, truly. Crash Out Cutie and the People's Princess. That's gonna be a 5-star match waiting to happen, y'all. Just wait. When I get a trainer, we're gonna walk in. I don't know if I'm chasing that goal, to be honest. I don't know if I don't know if I can be a champion. I just want to have fun with it. I just want to whoop some ass. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna whoop some ass.
There we go. Well, anyway, like I said, I'll be back Thursday night at 8 p.m. with Too Hot Dion Summers. And in the meantime, be good to each other, love each other, and let's keep just doing this throwing down.
Let's keep on.